I'm sorry. My name is Philip, P-H-I-L-I-P, one L in Philip. Van Cleve is two words. It's capital V-A-N, like the vehicle you drive, and then capital C-L-E-A-V-E. I'm the president of the Virginia Citizens Defense League.
Have we had any local law enforcement or government representatives come out to talk with us, or just drive by, or anything? Any contact at all, or observation of any?
Not to my knowledge. I haven't heard of anything. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody from the park didn't drive by, as a matter of course. With all the rain we had initially, maybe not. But no contact by anybody, really.
The way Roanoke Times kind of worded their article is like, you never know. It was kind of the reply on the reporter, or what the reporter quoted from someone else. So it kind of leaves you to be open-minded whether there were some intentions or not, to try to make contact.
Yeah, so there has not been. I talked to the assistant chief of police, and we had a nice little chat. They're up on the law, at least he was, and hopefully he was getting the word out to his men. So this whole thing is about education today. We're making sure that everybody out there understands, by having a huge picnic with over 100 people open carrying, that it is their right to be able to carry a gun in Virginia, in any local state, and any park, including even national parks. So regardless of what the ordinance, the poorly written ordinance might say, it doesn't matter. They would have no authority to tell us we can't have this picnic.
Now, previously, local government could make rules against carrying in a park. Is that right?
Prior to 2004, and actually even a little earlier, it depends on when they had a rule. Up to 2004, if they had one in place, I think it was before 1997, they could keep it. In 2004, VCDL pushed and got a law passed that wiped out all the local gun control, cleared it all off the books. The only thing a locality can control now is shooting a gun and carrying a gun. They cannot control purchasing a gun. I'm sorry, I may have to say that again. You can't. They can control hunting and shooting.
So the discharge.
They can discharge and hunting. They cannot control purchasing a gun, carrying a gun, transporting a gun.
So basically, what the state law, the amendment or the correction or whatever, is saying that we're superseding local law and saying that you have the right to carry. You can't make laws to just randomly pick out where you can and can't carry.
Right, the state controls that. The localities have no control. If a locality can ban a gun from being carried somewhere, they can only do so if the state gives them permission to have such a ban.
I understand.
And there aren't any bans like that out there that they have a chance to do that with.
How do you feel about the turnout today? The size of the gathering and the fellowship with the different people?
Oh, it's been great. We've had over 100 people show up today, even with the weather not being the best. Even the bees showed up, and we had Dan Casey, who's the columnist for the Roanoke Times, who's not always on our side. He showed up, and credit to him for doing so.
Now, a lot of times, to the uneducated person, you would think a whole lot of people get together with guns, there's going to be trouble. Or a bunch of drunken rednecks type,
Well, we're proof that that's not the case. It's just the opposite. This is the safest area to be right now in the Roanoke-Salem area. With 100 gun owners, I don't think much is going to happen here today.
So the perception should be, we're just citizens with certain rights guaranteed by the United States Constitution and the Commonwealth Constitution.
We're normal people, we're everyday people, except we take our self-defense seriously. We mean nobody else any harm, but we are not going to allow ourselves to be harmed by some criminal.
So nobody here is really the Wild West kind of attitude. We're rocking and locking and toting and...
Not at all.
So
the press has come to these things before and been very disappointed to find out that we're not like that at all. We're just normal people. We have guns on our hips, but we go about enjoying each other and having a meal and talking about anything we want to talk about.
You think some of the misconception could be lack of exposure or education?
Yes, absolutely. If some of the people that talk about gun owners the way they do would actually come to this picnic like this or go to a shooting range, they would learn just how much of a bad stereotype they've got in their head.
Now, there was some information I gathered at one time. I think somewhere along the wording, and help me if I get confused, that local law enforcement doesn't have any responsibility to provide you with any individual protection.
That was a couple times the Supreme Court has ruled on this. The police have no obligation whatsoever to protect any individual. If you call the police because somebody's breaking in your home and something goes wrong and they don't ever answer the call, they never get there, and you're killed or hurt, they can't be sued for that.
So they're not
liable. They don't have to show up at all. They completely say, I'm not going to this. No matter how urgent it is, they cannot do it. They're not liable. You are the only person that can truly protect yourself. If you're going to count on the police, they may be there, but they may not get there in time. Often crime happens and you only have a second or two between life and death. There's no way you can get a police officer there that quick. It's just not going to happen.
Yes, sir. So ultimately, it's an individual's responsibility to take care of their personal safety and security.
If you can call the police to help you or to get the job done, if you've got time, sure, absolutely.
It's most advisable to contact assistance.
Yeah, they have all kinds of protections for the job they do that we don't have and everything. But if they're not there, then you've got to make a decision. Are you going to roll the dice and hope they get there before you're completely dead, or are you going to protect yourself?
The period of time, the interim between the call and the arrival is critical.
Just being on the phone. Imagine that you're trying to stop somebody who's trying to stab you, and you're on the phone saying, well, okay, hi, 911. Yes, my name is this. I'm at this location. I'm wearing this. He's wearing that. He's trying to stab me. No, we're not there. We're over by a couple trees, by some driveway in the park, and
the third rusty mailbox.
You've got to give them this information in the middle of an emergency and hope that they get there. Plus, they have to gather all of that. Then they dispatch the car and have to give them that information. There's going to be minutes of a gap. There's just no way around it.
Yes, sir. The idea or the concept between open carry and concealed carry, what are your ideas and thoughts on that?
Well, open carry is comfortable. It's certainly your right in Virginia. You can open carry without a permit, no government permission. You can simply put a gun on for the world to see and go about your business. Perfectly legal. It's the way America was meant to be. Concealed carry is handy because a lot of people don't like they get frightened if they see a gun. It's irrational. But they needless to say are afraid. So if you conceal the gun and nobody knows, it doesn't make any difference to you. They don't see it. It allows you to be discreet.
Let me propose to you a concept and get your opinion on it. One of the ideas I had that came to me to support open carry was an analogy I presented to an acquaintance of mine, and that was along the lines of it's like a police car at an intersection. Somebody that has a tendency to run a stoplight would be less likely to run that stoplight if they saw that there may be a consequence to their action. And my idea was open carry demonstrates that I have the capacity to defend myself and my family, and any such interruption along that line of safety and security is not wanted.
Right. The advantage to open carry would be it might actually prevent you from having to use your gun.
Yes.
If somebody came up and they saw you had a gun, they might well just leave you alone. Nothing ever happened. If they didn't see the gun, they might think, well, he's probably not armed, and then attack you. Then you're going to have to draw your concealed gun and defend yourself.
The clarification, though, with open carry is not guaranteed to avoid a conflict, but it increases your probability.
Greatly. It's not just a little bit, it greatly increases it. Because given a choice, why would even a stupid criminal decide to attack somebody that's clearly armed when they could wait a few more minutes and attack somebody that isn't armed?
What about the person's demeanor or swagger as far as they carry? Does that carry also along with the open carry as far as the general population? You know, if you had somebody that was really all decked out in like combat uniform and looking kind of gung-ho, Do you feel like that kind of gives a little bit of uncomfortable perception?
Or? You're just better just to dress in regular clothes and go about your business. Just be normal.
So just be normal.
Yeah, you don't have to. You don't want to look like a police officer. You're not a police officer.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're just simply a citizen. So be a citizen. That's all. That's easy.
But ultimately, it bears responsibility on the individual how they're perceived, and not collectively open carry.
Open carriers should view that they are diplomats for gun owners.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Behave themselves as a representative of the group as a whole.
Yes, exactly. This event and some other stuff. So enjoy your meal. I just want to let you know that we'll be having a little talk here shortly. Good. It's so dull by the time I got in. I made it.
I'm on Medicaid automatically. Then go with B and so that's our wife and I both been oxygen
I want to thank Al Steed Jr., board member, for helping pull this together. We had Dave Knight, one of our executive members, who's been doing all the cooking. And you know, it's everybody that brought food. I mean, we got desserts over here that are unbelievable. You guys know how to eat out here in Roanoke. No doubt about it. Some of the finest food comes out this way when we have picnics. And
they kind of raise the bar for us,
yeah, they do. They do. Well, we'll have to make sure you guys come down to our Richmond picnics. Actually, we may be doing a similar one in Chesterfield. So we'll see what happens with that. Anyhow, I would like to, while I'm acknowledging people, also we have Dan Casey here. Dan works with the No, he's been here since early on. We both got here at the same time, and you know, while I think we drive each other crazy, I have to, you know, I'm glad he came out. I truly am. So I want to talk about a little bit why we're here. Well, you know, we're here because the bottom line is the government is supposed to be serving us. They're our servants. We're not their subjects, and consequently, when laws are written, things that we're expected to obey, they should be written in such a way that they are understood easily. Now, I know that's a big order. There's all kinds of laws. We got far more laws than we ever needed. You know, it was all done with 10 commandments at one time, and now we're out to shelf after shelf after shelf of books, and we're supposed to know this stuff. Of course, we all know that nobody can know it all. But at least if somebody wants to look up, geez, I'm gonna have a picnic in a park in Roanoke County. I want to look at the law to make sure, as a law-abiding citizen, that I'm not going to break a law. You should be able to pick up the code book and look at it and say, yep, I'm good to go. But not in Roanoke County. No, other counties handle it, but not here. Here you read it, and even, you know, if the police hadn't been told by the county attorney what the law was, I don't know that they would have known. It's very obtuse, and I think it's written that way intentionally. I believe that the law was written to discourage people from carrying in these parks. I don't think it was done in an honorable way. I do not believe that. I hate to say that, but I believe that's the truth. So we're here as an educational moment, basically. In the media, it gives us an opportunity to make sure that if the county won't tell you correctly that what your rights are, we will tell you what your rights are. And if you want to come to a county park and enjoy a picnic, while you're legally carrying your firearm, it is okay. And with 100 people standing here, most of you open carrying, we made that statement. To be fair to the police, they did know, at least when I talked to the assistant chief, he was very nice. We had a great conversation, a very professional gentleman, and they did know, and we've had no problems. But this was partially to make sure they did know, and largely to let the rest of the people that live in this county know. Now, in the Roanoke Times, there was an editorial where they said, oh, you know, if you don't know what the law is, like if you carry in the park, just go ask a police officer.
You don't know.
I cannot believe how naive that comment was. I believe Mr. Trayball wrote that, if I'm not mistaken, but you can't do that. I was a deputy sheriff. I didn't know all the laws. You know, you're in a classroom for a couple months. They can't cover all the laws. There's no way. Lawyers go to school for years, and they don't know all the laws. So to go to a police officer and ask them, it doesn't work. And with some of them, if they don't know, they'll make something up. So I've seen that happen because they don't want to admit they don't know. So you don't want to have to do that. It doesn't work. But then the suggestion was, oh, just go ask any government agency. Yeah, I'm going to call the health department and say, can you talk to me about the fine points of 18.2-308.1? If I want school property, can the gun be in my glove box? They're not going to know any of that stuff, and it's crazy to think they would. Now, the laws have to be written clearer. This county could write them clearer. But yet if you think that we're basically crying wolf, just guess what happened in Chesterfield 2 days ago. Somebody got kicked out of a park because they too have a bad ordinance. The police read the ordinance. The ordinance said you can't have a gun within 100 yards of a park or a school. So they said you can't have a gun here. The problem was the ordinance was illegal. The ordinance was based on wording in a state law that says, yeah, you can't have a loaded gun if the county doesn't want you to if you're hunting. I think we can agree that hunting and carrying a gun for self-defense are two different things. So there was an example where this thing totally backfired on the county. And now we're going to have to go straighten this out. I've been in touch with the county attorney's office. I've talked to the police. The police have been very polite about this. I got called by the basically the internal affairs, the group that investigates police for things of them for wrongdoing. And as soon as he told me it was internal affairs about this, I said, stop right there. We do not want these officers to have anything on their record. This is not their, yeah, they shouldn't have kicked the guys out of the park, but I can't really blame them because of the terrible way you've written this ordinance. We've got to fix the ordinance and get the word out to the officers so this doesn't happen again. And I think they can respect that. You know, we're not out to get anybody in trouble. Things happen. You write a lousy law, you're going to get lousy results. It's like computers, garbage in, garbage out. So we're going to be working on that, and don't be surprised if you don't see a picnic down that way. Although in that case, I expect it'll just be one to celebrate getting it fixed. In the extremely unusual event that Chesterfield County digs its heels in, then it'll be a protest picnic like this, where we're going to be there anyhow. But I don't envision that happening. We've had good luck with the police down there. They're very professional. That's some of the things that are going on now. There's a few other items we're working on. There are still some places that have no gun signs that shouldn't in some other localities out this way. So I guess I'm going to have to make sure my car has always got plenty of gas in it. Because we may be going to a few other counties and getting a few things straightened out. But that's how you do it, really. You know, you do it right, you go through the system, and you get it fixed. If you can't, then you can do this too. So, you know, we always make sure within the bounds of the law. So, again, I want to thank everybody that helped pull this picnic together, and all you for coming out. This was important. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I wanted to have a good turnout. That was important. And for everybody that stood by with the rain coming and everything else that came out here, I know it's not that hard. It's fun. You guys are great. I enjoy coming out and talking to everybody, catching up. A lot of you, I know because I see you frequently. Some new faces, some new members. So I do want to thank you for that. Al, did you have anything you want to talk to the crowd about?
No, man.
You bet.
I too want to thank everybody for coming out, but I owe a special bit of thanks to Dave Knight for doing a lot of the cooking.
There you go. Big clap up there.
And my Dick over there for doing some of the road running for us, helping out always. And several others. But last but not least is my beautiful wife and my stepdaughter for helping with all this. Around here, little Steven, that gets to do a lot of the toting stuff when we're loading the truck out. Little Heather here, another granddaughter. She's a good helper. Right? So do you understand what it takes to put something like this together? We reserved this spot quite a little while back, probably 6 or 8 weeks ago. And the people at the Parks Department here in Roanoke County were really, really super folks to deal with. They know what they're doing. They're very courteous and very polite. We enjoy dealing with people like that. We made 3 trips to Walmart. We made 3 trips to Kroger. Let's see, Sam's Club with 3 trips. 1 trip to Walmart, 3 to Kroger, and somewhere else. Kroger did the beautiful cake over here for us. The young ladies back there in the bakery do a wonderful job. I think the price is pretty doggone good too. So we do business with people that do business with us, and bottom line is we support those that help us. Good Lord saw fit to give us some rain today. I understand it's Saturday night, so we're all supposed to take a bath at least on Saturday night.
It gave us a captive audience. We can't go anywhere right now.
For those of you not used to dealing with an organization like this, newcomers, and even some older folks who've been members quite a while, we do a lot of gun shows and things like that in the area. For example, next weekend we'll be at the Salem Gun Show. We're always looking for helpers. About the best thing we can do is we get you in the gun show free. You get to meet an awful lot of nice people. You hear a lot of their questions and their concerns about carry, gun laws, where to get concealed carry classes, and things of that nature.
Let me say at a gun show, it's very common for even the vendors to tell somebody if they ask a question about a law, anything of that nature, they say go talk to VCDL because they can tell you about the laws, about rules and regulations. That is that's one of the things that people look up to us at the gun show. And it's so fun to be in the booth. And you're going to be with people, if you're new, you'll be with people that do this a lot, and you are going to learn a tremendous amount quickly. It's a lot of fun. You're doing a service to your fellow gun owners. Do consider doing it.
Even the police. We've had police coming to our booths to check up on laws, to find out things that they weren't sure about.
You know, last year when some of the changes here in Virginia went into effect the 7th of July, I believe it was.
1st of July.
The 1st of July. But anyway, several of the officers came up and were saying things. We gave them our little fuchsia colored card, not pink. The ladies call it pink. But we gave them that card and explained a few things to them. And one training NCO from a real local department here, really nice guy. He answers a lot of our questions for us and does the research for us. He didn't believe a couple of things we told him. And he came back, that was on Saturday, he came back Sunday afternoon and says, guys, you're 100% right, and thank you for the information.
One of the local PDs has actually requested that we're sending them all little carry cards. That's the new cards. One used to be fuchsia, now tan for this year. And they're going to give it to all their officers, so their officers know exactly where you can and can't carry a gun for enforcing the law. And that's a smart thing to do. A lot of agencies are starting to do that with our cards now because they're so handy. And we don't forget that we get some training at Fairfax with their police department. They actually had us training their officers on gun laws. So, and how to interact with citizens. It was wonderful. It really was.
Okay, anytime we have an event, either a picnic or gun shows or whatever, we always can use the help. We always enjoy the company of like-minded people. We get people sometimes that don't have the same ideas as we do. They don't have the same background as a lot of us do. We've got everybody in the world represented. We've got lawyers, we've got doctors, we've got police officers from various different things, military people.
Liberals, conservatives.
We have an awful lot of people that work for several different newspapers that are members and direct supporters of the cause. We get a lot of information from a lot of different sources, and we're real proud of each and every one of you and the support that we do get. We'll be around for a good little while to ask questions. Dave Hicks wants to say something?
You were speaking about gun shows earlier. As long as I've got a bunch of people here, put Hillsville on your calendar. Please, Labor Day weekend, we need all the help we can get. We can't come down for 4 days. Contact Al. Come down for a day or a half day or whatever you can. That is thousands and thousands of people. And the last couple of years, these stickers have absolutely dominated the scene, and that's only because we've got people here who stand at the various gates where they come in and go around and talk to people.
If you've never been to that event, it's incredible. I mean, it's a whole town taken over by this thing. Literally thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of people.
They say that